Take that, you slimy, horrible, dirty reptile freak. That's probably enough. I think they got him. Distinguished from other raptors by its long legs, the nearly 4-foot tall secretary bird usually hunts on the ground with their life partner or a group, eating anything they can catch. Their primary method being sticking the boots in and swallowing victims whole. By boots I mean massive claws that can take down venomous snakes. Very cool, however not that disturbing. Was just a happy coincidence to be over there. What I'm really here for is this sadistic chap behind me. Off he goes. He spotted a shrew, and within a flash has his hooked beak around its spinal cord, violently shaking to finish off the job. But he's not done there. There's a few sharp points sticking out the tree behind me. The perfect place, you might say, to display your recent victim. Branches, thorns, barbed wire. Anything spiky works as a canvas. And looks like our little Vlad the Impaler's display is good enough to attract a female shrike. Now they can both happily return over the next few days to finish off the meal. Poor innocent shrew. Unlike its northern short-tailed cousin, after paralysing their prey with venom, they drag it back to their lair to store it alongside all their other victims. That's what we call humane. Over quickly, minimal pain, done purely out of necessity. Though still targeted out of necessity, this chap's fate will be far from humane, quick, and without pain. It tried to escape, but has been chased to the point of exhaustion, collapsing onto its side to accept its fate. All it can do now is watch as several sets of sharp teeth latch on all over its body. They don't have time to hang around, and since the prey is already immobilised, African wild dogs will just crack on and start ripping it apart alive. Down here in these bushes, this male moth has just picked up the scent of a ready female, and is about to get some action. Oh, that's unfortunate. Turns out it wasn't a female moth, but a female bolas spider mimicking the scent, and now he's caught in the sticky drop at the end of her silken lasso. Now, you're going to think this is a bit creepy, but I've managed to get close up and film a couple of praying mantis during their most intimate moment. Trust me, it's worth it. Babe, that was so good. You're a real pro. That price to pay you mentioned before? Whatever it is, you're definitely worth it. A girl's gotta eat if she's gonna create new life. Bzz, 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 bzz. That's an emerald cockroach wasp, or jewel wasp, known for its, unusual to say the least, reproductive behaviour. The female's managed to spot one of its namesakes, so flies on down and delivers a sting, injecting some venom to paralyse the target. Now that it's stopped moving, the wasp is free to go fiddling around in its brain, delivering a precise second sting that basically removes its survival instincts. After biting off half the roach's antennae and slurping up some blood, the wasp's able to lead it back to her burrow like a dog on a lead. Now they're in the burrow, Mummy Wasp lays a few eggs between the roach's legs, then proceeds to close off the entrance. Don't want anyone else pinching baby's dinner. After 3 days, the roach's body starts fueling the newly hatched larvae as they gradually consume their way into the abdomen, picking off the internal organs and shutting down the host. Eventually, the fully grown wasps emerge, ready to start their adult lives. Here we have another potential thrall for the wasp. And it's gone. Where, you ask? Right there into the trapdoor spider's den. Should be fairly self-explanatory. They're not the only ground trap to be scared of though. Turns out sarlacc pits are actually real. The sizing's just a bit off. Now, I know in the last video some people weren't a fan of the feet being shown, so this time I've put on some shoes so I can show you a size comparison without any complaints. They're about 3 inches wide and 2 inches deep. Look, an ant's walking by, so we'll get to see it in action. None the wiser, the ant trots along till the floor is swept out from beneath it. Now slipping down the loose sand on the side of the pit, it struggles to get out as more sand starts raining down on its head. Even if the Antillean larvae's projectiles don't directly hit the victim, they still help cause an avalanche, bringing them right into the jaws poking out at the bottom. These are hollow, allowing the larvae to suck the fluids out from the ant before flicking the dry carcass back out of the pit and resetting the trap for the next one. This is a saw trap ant, a trap jaw ant. You can probably guess what will happen when the termite touches the sensory hairs on the mandibles. The second fastest moving appendages in the kingdom can also be used to build nests, care for larvae, and fling themselves away. Come to think, that ant carcass from before would be very handy for our next guest. as they haven't got the red and black pattern of the adults yet. An East African assassin bug nymph is going around collecting mainly ant carcasses for its new outfit. This trophy cabinet's purpose is camouflage, whether from predators or from its next edition. Somehow, the prey isn't able to put 2 and 2 together when it's in striking distance of a graveyard of its species, leading to digestive enzymes dissolving its insides. Once they've been slurped up, the remaining exoskeleton is fixed on using sticky threads from hairs on the assassin's abdomen. As we leave Africa and head up to western Iran, I want to give a quick shout out to the boys port and starboard for surgically removing the livers of the not-so-top predator off the coast of South Africa. This is what we're here for. A spider. At least, that's what this impaler thinks. As it moves in a figure-8 motion, it creates the perfect illusion of an easy meal, only for the rocks to suddenly open a massive jaw, latch on and deeply inject large amounts of venom. If you thought a horned viper with a spider on its tail would be called a spider-tailed horned viper, you'd be right. Queen, 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 Queen.
I've brought you some dinner, oh mighty Queen!
To be honest, that's not quite accurate. It actually just eats the kids. Using chemical and physical signals, this caterpillar hoodwinked the ants into believing it's their queen and bringing it back to their nest. As one of the few carnivorous caterpillars around, it spent the last year devouring the whole colony before ascending to the high heavens of Europe as a large blue butterfly. That's not my description of it, it's literally its name. It's really murky down here, but that looks to be a worm swimming around over there. An easy target for this minnow to quickly pick off. Or so it thinks. In the murky freshwaters of southeastern United States lurks the alligator snapping turtle, getting its name from looking like an alligator and a turtle, and powerfully snapping anything that mistakes its pink tongue for food. They're not the only sneaky reptile around though. Lots of animals have been known to use deception to lure unsuspecting victims into their grasp, like that green heron over there. Hello, alright mate? It will use various items as bait to lure fish, but can also be at risk when it wants to build its own nest. It's seen the stick. Looks like a good stick. Will fit nicely in the nest. Go on, what's the worst that can happen? American alligators using sticks to lure birds is the first documented tool use among reptiles, even if boring realists try to ruin the myth by saying it's just coincidence and that they're always covered in sticks anyway, and that nothing supports it being deliberate use, and further research would definitely need to be done. You might consider this method fairly humane, because it's over nice and quickly. It's still cool though. Something that's definitely not a myth are the electrocytes acting as tiny batteries in the up to 8 feet long electric eels that simultaneously discharge to take out prey. If they want to ramp up the power to ward off certain predators, they'll leap out the water and whack their chin on the target, dumping all the electric through the assailant rather than the surrounding water. Another in a long list of reasons to be careful in the Amazon. Did you hear that? Sounds like someone's in trouble. A group of pied tamarins recognise the sound as one of their own babies, so immediately send out a helping hand. Time passes by, and there's still no sign of either of them, but the cries still pierce through the forest. They decide to send out another few to find out what's been going on. Something's not right. They should be back by now, or the cries should have stopped. Like the last thing you should do in a horror movie, the final member heads on down to investigate. Oh no. What could have done this? And where's the baby? There's something behind you. The margay has been documented to mimic the cries of baby monkeys to lure out unsuspecting prey into their grasp, even if my version of it was a little bit embellished. Never let reality get in the way of a good wildlife documentary. Am I right?